guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am Carla and I'm the artist behind Ari Derin Art. Today you guys are watching me create my most recent original painting called In the Eye of the Storm. And just for reference, this painting is a 16 by 20 on a stretched canvas. When I was going over the underpainting of the butterflies, you can see me using a oil paint marker. So Sharpie makes these oil paint markers and they are like a godsend. So I don't have the most steady hand. So whenever I have to use a really small, like pointed brush to do something, to do smaller work, I always find like my hand is like shaking and I can never, I do fine, obviously, but it's very uncomfortable for me to try to do small work with a small brush. And I always hate that I can't sign my name like how I want to with a brush. So I think I originally got them for a commission that I did where I needed to write words, and I'm like, I'm not trusting myself to write these words with a paintbrush because I know it's not going to come out looking good. So I found out about these paint markers, these oil paint markers by Sharpie, and I used that to write the words that I needed to write on the painting. And I've been using them to sign my paintings now too, because it just helps me to make my words look so much neater. I'm such a perfectionist, and it's like, I can't stand the way my signature looks when I try to sign it with paint. It was just a hot mess. So yeah, I found these. I think they actually sell them at Target, and they weren't expensive at all. I mean, you only get 5 in a pack. It comes in a pack with, I think it was red, gold, silver, white, and black. And they've been such, like, they've come in handy so many times. So painting these little small black, the black around the butterfly wings, it just, I guess I could have did it with the brush, as you guys will see later on. I do go back over it with the paintbrush and I paint the small little veins with the paintbrush. But it was just so much quicker for me to do it with the pen or the marker initially. And especially the little white dots that I put on there too, that came in handy. The marker came in handy for those as well. Sorry if you hear any noise in the background. My in-home art studio is right across the hall from my kids' playroom, and they are actively in a loving brotherly play fight right now. But anyway, so the inspiration behind this painting actually came to me a few years ago. Oddly enough, I was watching Hamilton during the pandemic, and there's a song on there called something about In the Eye of the Hurricane or something like that. And I felt like the song was kind of inspirational in a sense. I think everybody was going through some things during the pandemic, emotionally, mentally, and the song really resonated with me a lot at that time. And I'm like, I want to make a painting that kind of talks about being in the midst of something that is weighing heavy on you emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it is. You're in the midst of this storm, so to speak. But you know what? You're not going to let this storm hold you down. You're not going to let this storm hold you back from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. You are going to find that peace within that storm. You're right in the middle of it, but you're going to find that peace, and you're going to get through the storm. And you're going to hold on to that peace to help you weather this storm and find your way out at the end. So that's kind of what the inspiration is behind this painting, being in the midst of this horrible storm, but you still find your way out at the end. So that's why I have her kind of like centered, peaceful. I kind of thought of like yoga too, and how, if you've ever done yoga before, you have like the praying hands pose. I think it's called mountain pose or something like that. But anyway, yeah, so I just wanted her to look calm and at peace. And my mom, when she saw the painting, was like, oh, it almost looks like she's praying. And I'm like, yeah. And if that's how you get through the storms in your life, is through prayer, that's another way of interpreting this painting as well. Maybe she is praying. Maybe she's praying to God to continue to allow me to be strong enough to get through this difficulty that I'm in right now. So whatever your beliefs are, I feel like anyone can look at this painting and come up with their own interpretation of it. And that's what I love so much about original artwork, is no matter what the artist had in mind when they were creating the painting, someone else can come along and look at this painting and say, okay, this painting is saying this to me. And you know what? It's not wrong. Whatever you see when you look at an original piece of art is what that art is saying to you. Every piece of art has its own message for each individual person, I believe. And that's what I love so much about art and about different interpretations of art. So let me know down in the comments, what is this piece saying to you? Like, once you see the whole finished thing, of course. So here you see me starting to paint the face. If you haven't noticed, I did start with the background first on this painting, which is something that I don't normally do because I love painting portraits and painting faces so much. I usually go straight into painting the face, but also most of my paintings that I've done in the past don't have as detailed of a background. It's usually either a flat color, or I think the painting I did before this one had some I used my paint knife, my palette knife and created the background that way. But I was kind of nervous when I first started this painting about doing the background, because I felt like the background held so much meaning to this painting that I couldn't shortchange it. I had to make sure the background was rendered just as well as the face. So I didn't want to lose steam by doing the face first. And then by the time I get to the background, it's like, oh my God, I have so much of the background that I have to do. And I didn't want my brain to be like, well, you know what? The face looks wonderful. You don't have to really go that hard on the background because the face looks great, because that's my favorite part. So I made sure I did the background first and saved it kind of like as a treat for myself. Like, finish the background, render the background as best as you possibly can, and then you get the satisfaction of completing the face. So that's what I did. So that's where I'm working on now, is doing the face, and yeah, my favorite part of the painting. So you may think it looks kind of weird that I'm painting her blue, but I wanted this painting to be a monochromatic painting. There's an artist that I follow on Instagram, and I think I also follow them on Twitter. I believe she's called The Bald Artist, if I'm not mistaken. And she does these gorgeous, like, monochromatic portrait paintings. And I was heavily inspired by her painting, and I wanted to do something similar. And blue, just was the perfect choice for this painting because obviously it has that big wave in the background, the blue stormy sky, like blue kind of like gives that moody feel to everything. So blue was like the perfect choice for the theme of this painting, and plus blue is my favorite color. But yeah, I'm going to link the artist down in the description box if you want to go check her out. Please go check her out on Instagram or Twitter and give her some love because her portraits are gorgeous. And while you're on Twitter or Instagram, make sure you follow me as well as the Bald Artist. So with the butterflies, so that was just kind of my theme for this year is kind of new beginnings and transformation. And that's what butterflies represent to me, new beginnings and transformation. And also, if you think about I think there's a saying that says like, the flap of a butterfly's wing can cause that's where the butterfly effect comes from. And the flap of a butterfly's wing can cause a ripple effect that can change the course of different things all across the world, or something like that. But butterflies for me are just a representation of new beginnings and transformation and resilience and strength, but still have this soft, vulnerable delicateness about them. That's one of the things that I'm personally working on, is being more vulnerable, especially with my loved ones around me, allowing them to really see what's going on inside me instead of being so much of a closed book when I really shouldn't be. And then with me starting this new path in life, with me taking on art full time and deciding to not have a job outside of my home, but running my own business and being my own boss, that's been a journey for me thus far, to say the least. And it's a new beginning, and it does come with a lot of transformation, because there are things that are required of a person that's a business owner that are not required of a person that's an employee or working for someone else. And some of those things do not come naturally to me. So I'm going through a lot of transformations, whether it be in mindset or my daily work habits or what have you. There's a lot of transformation going on in my life right now. So this painting holds a lot of different messages for me personally. And like I said, it could, mean something else completely to another person, which is absolutely, totally fine. And here is the finished piece, In the Eye of the Storm. The original has already been sold, but I do have prints available on my website and in my Etsy shop. The links will be down in the description. And thank you guys so much for watching. Come back and see me again soon, alright? Bye.